They said Haligon didn't like being looked at. From the village, it was just a shadow of broken green and stone, its jagged spine tearing the horizon, its peak swallowed in cloud even on clear days. But if you stared too long, the old folks said, you'd start to feel it staring back. Adu had been staring at it his whole life. He stood on the edge of the rice terraces at dawn, bare feet sunk into wet soil, watching the fog roll down from the mountain like it was breathing. The cold air stung his lungs. Somewhere in that pale wall of mist, trees hid, rivers twisted, leeches waited, beasts hunted. Somewhere up there, guardians watched. He'd never seen one. No one had, not clearly, not with proof. But Haligon was too quiet to be empty. Behind him, the village was waking, coughs, kettles, doors sliding open, roosters screaming their useless war cries. Down the dirt road that cut through the fields, a bell clanged once, twice, 3 times. Caravan. Adu tore his gaze away from the mountain and headed back, the chill still clinging to his skin. By the time he entered the village square, the climbers had already arrived. Their logo was everywhere, painted on crates, stitched on jackets, stamped on the side of their big metal carts. Ascent Co. Licensed climbers. Peak solutions since 132 AS. They looked nothing like the climbers Adu grew up hearing about. Lean ghost stories in Lola Myra's voice. Men and women who vanished into the mountain and sometimes came back with eyes that no longer slept. These ones were loud. Easy with those crates, someone shouted as porters wrestled with sealed boxes that clinked like bottles inside. Those are live cores. A woman in a dark red jacket barked orders, a ledger in her hand. Her hair was tied in a tight knot, face lined not by age, but by constant frowning. Climbers in gleaming harnesses and polished boots leaned on the carts, checking gear, laughing too loudly, smelling like city soap and imported coffee. Gem hunters. Contract climbers. The commercial kind. Adu stopped by the well, pretending to adjust the rope as he watched. Don't stare too long, a voice rasped beside him. You'll start thinking they're brave. Lola Mira shuffled up, a basket on her back and a scarf covering her silver hair. Her eyes, however, missed nothing. I'm not staring, Adu said. You're always staring. At them. At the mountain. At trouble. She spat to the side. Same thing, really. One of the climbers noticed them, a tall man with shaved sides and a short, styled crest of hair, wearing armor that looked expensive and heavy more than practical. His jacket flashed with patches, Haligon Class B, Ascent CO, Senior Operative, and a stylized mountain logo. He smirked at Adu. Hey kid, he called. You still playing water boy? Adu straightened. I carry for the caravans. Same as before, sir. Sir, he says. The man nudged one of his companions. Hear that? Got more manners than some of our rookies. The rookies laughed on cue. Lola Mira muttered under her breath. Manners won't keep your bones out of Kuminoi. The climber captain, Adu thought his name was Vero, or something like that, didn't hear her. He stretched, joints cracking, then looked past Adu to Haligon's looming silhouette. How's the mountain? He asked, like it was a neighbor and not an old god with a mood. Adu glanced back at the ridge, clouds rolling slow. Quiet, he said. Too quiet, maybe. Vero snorted. Quiet means fewer beasts. Fewer beasts means easy coin. I like quiet. That's not what quiet means, Lola Mira said, loud enough this time. Vero's eyes flicked to her. He saw an old woman with bad knees and a woven basket. He didn't see the way the lines on her hands traced old rope burns, or how her fingers unconsciously flexed like someone who once clung to cliff edges for hours. Nana, Vero said, forcing a respectful tone. People still feared offending elders in villages like this. It was bad luck. We'll be fine. We're licensed. Got full gear. Certified gym techs, route charts, all that. We've climbed worse peaks than this mossy hill. Haligon was not a hill, but the mountain didn't correct him. It just sat there, dark and patient. Lola Mira stepped closer, her voice low. You boys always think the same thing. Gear. Charts. Licenses. Vero raised a brow. And she held his gaze. The mountain never gives. Adu felt something tighten in his chest. He'd heard this before. He'd heard it 100 times. But each time she said it, the words felt heavier. Lola Mira continued, each word deliberate. Everything has to be earned. Vero's smile thinned. For a moment, just a moment, something passed over his face. Annoyance, discomfort. maybe even a flicker of recognition. Then it was gone. "Well," he said briskly, "good thing we're good at earning." He turned away, clapping his hands. "All right, you heard the old wisdom. No freebies on the mountain. Move your asses. We're burning daylight." The square turned hectic. Adu was pulled into the current, ropes thrust into his hands, crates ordered to be loaded, barrels checked. He moved on instinct, body remembering the rhythm he'd learned over the last 2 years of working caravans. Anchor the straps. Check the knots. Don't stand behind the carts when the brake is off unless you want broken toes. "You're taking the North Spur?" Adu asked one of the junior climbers as they heaved a crate into place. "Yeah," the young man grunted. "Trails rated safe. Less rockfall than the East Spine." Last week, Adu said, North Spur had a Kuminoi swell. 8 3 carabaos and a cart. Trails different this month. The climber froze, eyes widening. "You serious?" Lola Mira appeared on his other side, as if summoned by fear. "He's serious," she said. "Kuminoi's moving higher this rainy cycle. The Linta, too. There's a hollow root stretch past the 3rd marker. You step wrong, you sink. You bleed, the Linta sing." Vero looked over, annoyed. "We have updated topography from Central. Recent mapping. Central doesn't live under Haligon's shadow," Lola shot back. "Maps don't change fast enough." "She does." Adu swallowed. Sometimes he thought Haligon was listening. The way fog always seemed to thicken when people dismissed her. The way wind would gust suddenly right after someone made a joke about guardians. The way the villages at her base still existed, despite storms and beasts and landslides. As if the mountain was tolerating them, not ignoring them. "Why are you still using the North Spur?" Adu asked, trying to sound casual. "East Spine is steeper, but the leeches are fewer this month. Talnugan don't like that side because of the rockfall. Safer." The junior climber opened his mouth to answer, but Vero cut in. "Because that's the route we're contracted to take," he said. "Ascent Company guarantees fast retrieval, least resistance. North Spur is faster. Our clients in the city care about timing, not old ghost trails." "And if North Spur is waking up?" Lola asked quietly. Vero's jaw flexed. For the first time that morning, he looked at Haligon like it might look back. "We'll manage," he said. "We always do." He sounded like someone trying to convince himself. The caravan began to move, wheels groaning as they rolled down the packed dirt road toward the forest edge. Children followed at a distance, laughing, pointing at the weapons, the gleaming gem lanterns, the strange metal devices mounted on belts. Adu walked alongside the last cart, helping stabilize its weight as it bounced over a rut. The junior climber he'd spoken to earlier fell into step beside him. "You've gone up with caravans before, right?" the young man asked. "As porter." "Only to the 2nd camp," Adu said. "I don't go past the fog line." Scared, Adu thought about the stories. About the Tamara seen as a shadow between trees, horns scraping the sky. About the Talnugan, the tailed figures perched up in the canopy who watched but rarely acted. About Kuminoi that moved like something thinking. About Linta that drank more than blood. "Yes," he said simply. "I'd like to live long enough to be stupid in other ways." The climber laughed, shoulders loosening. "Fair." They reached the tree line. Haligon's forest rose before them, massive trunks wrapped in moss, branches interwoven so thick that the sky became a fractured patchwork of light and shadow. The air shifted as they stepped out of farmland and into something older, wetter, and less impressed by human presence. The first marker stood a few strides ahead, a simple stone, half swallowed by vines, carved with an old symbol, a circle split by a jagged line, the sign of a peak. Just before the caravan passed under the first branches, something moved high up in the trees. Adu's head snapped up. For a heartbeat, he saw it, a silhouette against the fog-drenched canopy. Thin, humanoid, slightly crouched, a tail curling and balancing along a branch. Head tilted, as if listening. Then it was gone. The hairs on Adu's arms rose. "Did you see that?" he whispered. "See what?" the junior climber asked. "In the trees," Adu said, staring into the shifting leaves. "Someone know? Something watching." Vero glanced up, squinting. "Monkeys," he said. "Or Mangian hunters. Don't spook yourselves before the first camp, kids." "That was no monkey," Lola murmured from behind them. Adu didn't know when she'd caught up. Her breathing was slightly labored from the walk, but her eyes were sharp as broken glass. "Talnugan?" he asked. "Maybe," she said. Maybe not. They don't always show themselves, not even to climbers. But when the canopy watches you that closely, something's weighing your soul. She touched the first marker stone lightly as she passed it, her fingers tracing grooves worn down over generations. Vero rolled his eyes but touched the stone too, quickly, like a man who didn't believe in ghosts, but also didn't want to offend them, just in case. Adu hesitated. The stone was cold under his palm. For a brief moment, he felt pressure. Not physical, something inside his chest, like the air thickening in his lungs. Climb. The word didn't arrive as a sound. It was more like a direction inside his bones. A pull, gentle but undeniable, coming not from the forest or the village, but from above. From Haligon. Adu jerked his hand back. Something wrong? The junior climber asked. No, Adu lied. Just a chill. The caravan moved deeper into the forest. Light grew dimmer, sound sharper. The creak of wheels, the clank of gear, the distant chatter of birds, the rustle of unseen creatures, the smell of damp earth, of rot, of things growing on top of the dead. Adu's heart beat too fast. He shouldn't have felt that. He'd been on the forest edge before. He'd helped lug crates to first camp. He'd seen fog rolling through trunks, heard Ramo snorting in the distance, seen the slick trails of Linta after rain. But he'd never felt the mountain inside him. He glanced back. At the edge of the forest, the village was now a blur, small huts and fields swallowed by distance and green. Lola Mira had stopped at the first marker, having decided that was as far as she would go. Her eyes found his. For a moment, they both simply stared at each other, everything else falling away. Then she nodded, as if she already knew. You heard her, didn't you? She called out softly. Adu froze. Who? Lola's lips curved into a tired, bittersweet smile. Haligon, she said. The mountain. Vero snorted from the front of the line. The mountain doesn't talk. No, Lola said. Not to you. Vero pretended not to hear that. The caravan moved on, swallowed by the trees. The air grew cooler. The ground turned uneven, roots like sleeping serpents underfoot. Somewhere far off, something big crashed through underbrush, then went quiet. A lone bird shrieked once, like an alarm, then stopped abruptly, as if cut off. Adu walked in silence, the echo of that not voice still lingering in his chest. Climb. He didn't want to. Not really. He liked the village, the fields, the warmth of the kitchen fire, the sound of rain on their iron roof. He liked his mother's scolding, his little sister's laugh, the way Lola's stories tasted like old smoke and forgotten truths. He liked living. Climbers died. Everyone knew that. But the pole was there, quiet and patient, like the mountain itself. Maybe, he thought, it was nothing. Just nerves. Just the awe of walking under old trees. Just the stories getting to him. Maybe. Ahead, the fog thickened, curling around trunks and ankles, turning the air into something you could almost touch. The fog line. First camp wasn't far beyond that. The caravan would stop there. He'd unload, get paid, and go back down before nightfall. Like always. Like always. The junior climber beside him whistled nervously. Feels weird today, huh? Adu swallowed. Yeah. You really think the North Spur's bad now? I think Haligon changes faster than your company reports, Adu said. And I think sometimes she gets tired. Tired of people climbing her just to take, Adu said before he could stop himself. The junior climber glanced at him. Then why does she let us up at all? Adu remembered Lola's words. Remembered the story he'd heard as a child, buried under a blanket while thunder rattled the windows, listening to tales of gods, seals, and guardians. The seal needs pressure, Lola had said back then. Peaks need climbers. Even fools keep the world from cracking. Now, walking under Haligon's breath, Adu answered quietly. Because even if you climb for the wrong reasons, he said, you still climb. The fog swallowed his words. Somewhere above them, unseen between the branches, something moved. A shape as quiet as thought. A tail balancing a long bark. Eyes, many, or one, or none at all, watching the caravan pass. The Talnugan observed the line of humans with the same curiosity humans had for ants. Most of them, it could sense, walked with hollow hearts, driven by coin and contract and pride. They were noise. But one of them, one carried the faint, flickering taste of something the Guardian had not sensed in many, many years. The calling. It lingered around the boy like early smoke. unformed, denied. But there, the Talnugan tilted its head, tail curling tight around the branch, listening not with ears, but with something older. Far beneath the world, something else stirred. Pressure pushed upward. The Dominion offspring strained against the unseen chains with the slow hatred of centuries. Iswell crawled through stone and root, looking for cracks, for anger, for grief, for ambition, for tools. Too far here, too small. Not yet. But he felt it too, the faint light in one boy's chest, like a spark in a dead forest. He hated it. He smiled in the dark, where no one could see. The mountain never gives. The boy would have to earn everything. And Haligon was ready to see if he could.